Alrighty, what's going on, y'all? Thank you for tuning in again. I am blessed to be here today. I just wanted to come on and say that I love you guys, and I hope everybody's doing fantastically fine. I know we all have our own journeys, and I know we all have our up and downs and our family members that pass, and we do have tough times with inflation, tough times with the economy. I understand all those stressors can be detrimental and saddening. So if you're going through that, the only thing I want to do is send you love, because at the end of the day, it is very important that we love each other and spread that kindness, because it's a very, very easy way to attract positive energy when we spread only and nothing but love and peace. So after that being said, I have come to an end in some type of way in some season that I had in my life. I completed 500 plus massages. So I've been able to, I've been blessed by the Woodhouse Spa and Dr. Phillips to be able to build a clientele there and actually, move on and head to a different modality, which is now chair massage. So I was more of like deep tissue Swedish massages. There was more like treatments and, salt baths and whatnot. So it's been a journey. I love it. I loved it so much. The spa is amazing. The spa journey is definitely, it was a good one. It was a great one, actually. It was an amazing one. Fantastic, fascinating. I learned so much. It was so amazing. It's you're dealing with people, and you just have to understand people at that time, at that point. And it's been very building very, very quickly as well, because I've been able to meet different type of people with different stressors in different areas of their body that relate to their day-to-day routine when it comes to what they eat, what they do, how they sleep, how they drive, how long they text, how long they go outside. And it's been such pleasure to be able to understand people's physique and understand people's mindset, and listen to actually, behavioral aspects that they've had throughout their whole lifetime. And, sometimes people really do get emotional, and that's what we call emotional releases. And they start crying, and it's okay. Of course, we all cry. We're human. It's not weird. It's not, oh my God, no, it's actually completely normal. Just like it's just completely normal. And that season has really, really blessed me. I'm gonna keep repeating that just because I've come across good coworkers that been able to show me different things, and they've been in the industry for a longer time. Same, some less, some more, but usually the ones I was working around with were more, or even at the same time, right? But to be able to pick up a move here and there, I really appreciate them all. And it's been great, from even turning on the cubby, where we put our hot towels on, and plugging in the hot stones, and turning on the heat warmer, because I was going to be there at 8:40 on the dot, right on time for meetings. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. But I do want to jump into something that I've realized over this season. And I've realized that we need to understand that throughout these actual stressors, throughout the information that I have received, and heard of and read and read, researched, it's been a pleasure. Multiple doctors. I listen to multiple doctors. If that's podcasts, they're of course informational only. It's not like they're diagnosing people and telling you what's right. And it's just information. So I've been open-minded to that information. Of course, on a nutritional fact, of course, I've eliminated from my diet all types of sources that are completely erroneous, which are such as McDonald's, Coca-Cola, all these products like just that have so much sugar and so much like non-nutritional values at all. Even juices, I've been able to slim down just to water. And, if I'm going to drink a juice, it'll probably be something very natural, actually very like, orange, from off the tree. It's what I'm trying to say. Like orange falls off the tree. That's what I'm trying to eat and drink. So as natural as that as possible, even switching eggs over to, free range, to where instead of chickens being encaged, they are free range, which means they're able to run around in fields and whatnot. And this information is all available online. Of course, you guys can do your own research. Look up the companies that do so, just like we look up companies to compare with cell phones. What's better, an iPhone, because we're looking at the megapixels, and photographers, I understand that, and people that deal with cameras, I understand that. But when we're using these type of same comparisons for things that really don't matter, like materialistic stuff, and not using those same traits with our health benefits, with our mind, with our peace of mind, all of these things can be very detrimental for our longevity. So building character is what we need to stand on, because we need to understand that there are certain goals that we want to achieve in life, obviously, and everybody's going to achieve those goals depending on how much they really want to achieve those goals. Because at the end of the day, we are human, and we can create our own future, since we already do. We can set that up in a way. And what I mean by in a way is, if we can create ourselves to be very receptive to learning new information every day, then possibly we can, be better humans for the next day. So essentially it's the same thing, just like Mamba mentality, like Kobe Bryant. He used to say, I want to be better than I was yesterday, and of course that's the whole goal. Why wouldn't you want to be better than yesterday? That would just be like being stuck. But I understand that comes with certain types of obstacles, right? So for example, we make an excuse for so much not having time to do what you really want to do. Okay, so let's put this into perspective really quick. That person, let me see, how can I say this? We have to stop. There has to be a recognition. There has to be some type of awareness and accountability for ourselves when it comes to our daily goals, and when it comes to our long-term goals, short-term, long-term goals. And from my experience, I've seen people want things but not put their intentions where they want their attention. So they don't put their intentions where they want their attention, essentially. So it's completely deceptive. It's completely not productive, in the sense of like, if I'm going to go to the gym and my mentality to going to the gym is going to be like, I'm going to go to the gym because I'm just going to get big. I'm going to get swole. I'm going to make sure I look good for everybody, and make sure I'm bigger in this room. And I make sure that, I'm going to the gym. Yeah. Instead of, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do what I have to do. I'm going to work on these muscles. I'm going to work on this schedule that I have, or this itinerary that I have, or these, back, biceps, arms, triceps, chest, whatever you're going to do is simply just planned out in the sense of working out. I want to work out because this is a goal I want my muscles to reach, not on the perception and perspective of wanting to impress or be bigger than, or competing essentially with who knows who. So the intention of going to the gym is completely different. And when the person that walks out of the gym, that's like, you know what, I worked on these couple of muscles. It was a good 45. I was doing, very slow resistance exercises with, if it's heavy weights and you're just doing low reps, then cool. If you're doing low weight, high reps, then cool. But if your intentions to go to the gym was to actually be healthy and understand the true function of a gym, then for your body, then okay, right? But if we're going just to put on mass, or to go to take pictures and look big and be in the yoga pants and, have multiple areas of your body explicitly out and completely viewable, for what? It's crazy, because I saw this couple the other day at the gym, and they were like, they did like a couple pumps. We literally got there like at the same time, but it was just a different mindset. They went in, they didn't even, I don't even think they hit any, they probably just pulled a cable or here or there, but it was more for like, so they were using the weights for positions, like, to take pictures, and, they were hugging each other while they were holding onto the cables, and like, it was different. So I was like, wow, we've really got to a time and age where we're just going to the gym to take pictures, and I don't know if they were doing it for a marketing event or if they were doing it because they have a very huge platform on fitness, but I know other trainers that actually get in the gym and you can hear them in the background and you can see the results. But if we're just having the idea of going to the gym is going to better ourselves, then that's just the wrong idea. Because essentially, both mentally and physically, right? Because I don't think that going to the gym with the intention of just wanting to be big and wanting to be seen is healthy, because it's technically toxic for your mental health, because you're on a schedule where, like, if you miss a day, you're like, oh my God, I missed leg day. Oh my God. Half of you guys miss leg day anyways, but I've skipped out on a few, but it's done with a different intention. So like, our body is made to recover itself, build itself, and protect itself. Survival mode, essentially, right? So there's a point in time that when we even starve long enough, our body eats its own fat. Isn't that like wonderful? That's amazing. I mean, it's, I hope nobody ever reaches that level of starvation, but wow, it's beautiful. So the intention of going to the gym with that mindset is completely detrimental to your mental health, in what I've seen, because I've experienced it myself, and I was able to, look. There's a reason why longevity is the key. It's ultimate key for me, at the gym. It's my ultimate goal is longevity, to where I can maintain the same force, the same pressure, to be able to push the same weight, not going as consistent, because we need to give our body time to recover. So if you're on a schedule that's like, mentally exhausting, that I have to go to the gym at 6 p.m., then understand that your body is okay with changing its clock. It's just your mind that is completely tricking you and saying, we need to go at this time, at the gym and be there on time so we can get that 1 hour and leave by 7 because I got things to do after 7, that's the right time. You know, that's the right time. When mentally you could just be like, okay. All right. So I'm going to go to the gym for 1 hour and cool. Or maybe, you know what? I'll just skip it and I'll just go tomorrow. Just give my body some time to rest, recover the scar tissue, and that's it. So it doesn't rip again, because we're essentially just ripping our fibers to increase the muscle mass, and that broken tissue needs to heal, essentially, before you actually can push again, before you just break the broken tissue. So I've learned that, I mean, even if you look at a celebrity, I'll put a high celebrity that possibly everybody knows, obviously the best basketball player of all time, of course. You know what I mean? LeBron James. So look at how much money he invests into his own body, according to articles. $1.3 million. $1.3 million in nutrition, $1.3 million possibly in training, water, fruits, obviously, food, whatever. That falls under nutrition, of course. There's a key to why he's lasted 20 years, averaging almost the same points per game. You know, he's had the same stats per game, essentially around the same. You know, comes up and down, but hasn't been below 25 points per game, which is great for 20 years in the league, right? Longevity, guys. You see how he slimmed down when he was in Miami. He was bulky. He was big. He was, trying to win them chips. Then he was like, you know what? Let me slim down because I'm getting older. Let me chill. Let me find different alternatives to be able to work out. Maybe I can buy a bicycle and I can cycle for 3 hours twice a week, burn the same calories, maintain the same physique because of how much cardio I'm committing to. And maybe my body would look perfectly fine, So essentially what I'm trying to say is that when you go into the gym with an intention of wanting to be big compared to just wanting to do what my body requires for me to do to look completely fine, which is how your normal body weight should be, then we're good. Now, when we step out into the nutritional fact, we have to understand that we have to have the same intention, the same ideology. Not we, but I have the same. I have changed my ideology. Let me clarify this. Not we. I have changed my routine because of information that I've read and seeked out to believing, essentially, and to researching and knowing that it works for more people, and this is thousands, maybe millions. Why not try that? So I've tried to step away from unhealthy eating, and I've succeeded. I have succeeded to a max potential. And what I mean by unhealthy eating, I'm not saying you can't go out and have, your family dinner. I'm not saying not to enjoy the essentials of America. Some of the essentials that come within this theme park of America. I'm not saying not to enjoy that. I'm saying that if you're on your daily routine, like what I do, this is what I do. I used to, go for the cereal, the Aunt Jemimas, and just all the brands that really are what I was used to, which were like the unhealthy ones were like Aunt Jemimas and like, the mayonnaise that has an insane amount of whatever in it. Just switching and modifying to plant-based from some meat, not that much poultry, sometimes plant-based. Sometimes I can switch my diet to this. Not saying that I don't that I go completely vegan or that I go completely vegetarian. No, but I think it's more of like an omnivore type nutritional goal that I have here is what I'm trying to say. And sorry about that, guys. And and essentially, I am enjoying that because I feel a lot more cleaner. I feel like my body is completely healthy. I don't get sick as much. I don't have that much allergies anymore. I'm able to breathe. And I wake up feeling great. I'm able to go outside, have a nice walk. But the true power is within your mental status and what you eat, because what you eat is essentially what you are, is what they say, right? Well, I firmly agree with that. I firmly agree with that. And from my perspective, since I've been eating healthier, I've felt more energized. I feel more willing, and actually not willing, wanting to get out of bed in the morning and say, thank you, God. I am able to go to work again. You have provided everything that I have currently, and I have moved on from what I used to be. That was yesterday, and I am completely grateful to be here today. So those are things that I completely tell myself every single day that I wake up, every single time that I feel like I need to scream and shout, obviously in moderation and knowing where I'm at. But I will say, thank you, God, or if I'll say it, I'll just say, I'm so grateful, just because it's the only person that can provide, or the only person, energy that I could surround myself in such positive matter, because there's so much images that are completely holding us back from excelling as human beings. And I feel like if we were to have the optimism to want to step out of our comfort zone and be able to say, you know what, I feel like if I eat this, going back to the nutrition, if I eat this, I'll probably feel a lot better and not feel so bloated and not have acid refluxes at nighttime, and then not have to drink a famotidine pill or, any of those gas reducer pills, then maybe I will switch over to fruits instead of having that cake at nighttime or that ice cream at nighttime. Or maybe I won't even eat at nighttime after 8 p.m. because my body can sustain surviving until starvation, until my body's eating its own fat. So we're just greedy in a sense, because we don't know how to limit ourselves due to not having discipline. So if we don't have discipline because we just don't have discipline to take care of ourselves, but we have discipline to wake up and do the same thing every single day, then we're not progressing. We're on the same straight line. We need to be going up. This got to be an uptrend. Now, the uptrend comes when we realize that those things are completely detrimental to our mental health, not only, but to our stomach, to our feet, to our legs, to our veins, to our brain, to our receptors in our eyes, to our receptors in our brains, to our vision, to our health, to diseases. All of these things are real, and it comes from what we're eating and what we're surrounding ourselves within. Around, and if we're surrounding ourselves with beautiful aspects that this nature, this whole world has provided for us, because remember, we get confused. We must not believe that this world is created by man. No, this world was created by God, and it was made by God, and it's a globe in an atmosphere that has a complete physic rotation around the sun, and it's just completely beautiful. That was not man created. What is inside of America and where we live currently, where we stand, is man created, which came from an amazing idea from some intelligent people that possibly gave us these resources that we, of course, are grateful for. At least I am. But the whole point is that we need to understand that this world outside is here for us. It's a theme park. You're able to hop in a plane and travel. You're able to do and see things that you possibly never seen before. And even if it's girly, and even if it's all of these stigmas that going outside and having a great time and sitting at the park and having and spending quality time without having to go spend money, without having to go sit in the same restaurant for the last 20 years, these things are completely completely mind eating, and they just take away from the pure essence of what a human being has to offer to this beautiful world. Because I don't know if you guys, but if the past generations came in growing their own fruits and their own vegetables and their own agriculture, essentially growing their own everything. You know, some were slaves, obviously, if we go that far back in generation, but look at how long they lasted. I'm saying they lasted so long, and they still begin to last. My grandfather is 80 years old, still works, still eats, relaxes, enjoys his outdoor life activities, which I believe keeps him alive, because he's completely connected to nature, and he's completely in tune with his own mind, that this is what he has to do. Of course, it probably, due to generational things, he does not slow down. He does not take a break. He needs a little bit more rest, but he does have a very nice schedule set up. So it's a really nice routine. So he stays strict to that. And after, I think it's like 1:00 p.m., he does not do outside work. He wakes up very early and does the outside work every single day. And my point is that he, to this day, still grows his own food in his backyard and in his garden. And this man is eating healthy. He is eating complete, beautiful, like healthy, you know. So his longevity has been based off of working in sun and enjoying his time here on this world. Excuse me. And of course, doing his routine. Now, I want to bring us back to where, if we were able to do this and realize that what we eat, what we do, what we see in this generation, in this world, we just give it away. It's all available. It's probably even better. There's trails. There's so many different things. And I'm not saying go out there and, go walk your trails. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm saying walk those trails, because honestly, if you're connected with this environment that grows on a daily basis, like trees and plants and birds and frogs, and all of these animals evolve throughout the day, and they change and they adapt to their environment. When it's a hurricane, they adapt. Okay. When it's raining, they adapt. Okay. When they burn, they revive. They come back in some type of way. If not, then the mycelium underneath, which is mushrooms, will do their thing to create a great soil base. But since we destroy everything, since we're human and we just want to put a Subway on the corner and a McDonald's on the corner just so we can attract some money over here, and, let's just destroy this world. Well, obviously, we're going to have situations. We're going to have problems. We're surrounded by all this garbage on a daily basis, and it's completely eating our minds to a degree of not wanting to educate ourselves to know what's right, to know what's right. To know what's right, to know what's wrong. And when we can focus on the right and stay in the positivity and stay on that lane, then I'm telling you, your life will change forever. It's beautiful. It's completely living at a cost of nothing. And you are surrounded by pure bliss, pure joy, and beauty and life. That you take those extra steps and you say, you know what? Let's do something different today. Let's go to a park. Let's go to this trail. Let's go to this city instead of here. Let's actually go to Puerto Rico for a weekend. Let's go to Cancun for a weekend. Why do we have to wait for specific events to want to do things? Why do we have to have the mentality of having to have money to be able to do things? This is a fallacy. It's a fallacy. Cut the unnecessary things that you are spending money on, which is food. That does not matter. You do not need as much food. You do not need all this extra McDonald's. You do not need a bottle of water from every corner store you go. Bring your own water, buy your own water, and travel with it. Carry it on you. If you don't want to, then I understand you can buy some water, but just buy some good water. Buy water that has alkaline. You know what? Do your own research on your water, but stay away from the, great, the not healthy water. I tell you, if you drink 3 bottles, this is my opinion. This is my idea. Ever since I switched to drinking alkaline water, and I have the jug over there, and just fresher water, and a shout out to Jade because she told me about trace minerals inside of the water. These things that we that there's a process that the water goes through, of course, throughout the filtration system, and just like a filter in an apartment unit can be dirty. Imagine a filter where they process water, and maybe there's workers there that are just like, at that type of level. So, understand that we need to expand our ideas. And if you haven't been to somewhere, you don't know what water to get, I will tell you what water I get. And I will show you things that I get when I go next time to the supermarket to be able to shop, to be able to eat better, to be able to completely survive with not that much, really. And how I go outside and I enjoy my time and I take my bike rides, and you got to be part of the community, guys. You have to be part of the community. It's the whole point. It's the whole point of living in a community, is being part of that community. You're able to go see the amenities of your properties, of your property. You're able to go see what is available in your community, what is on the bulletin board that we just drive by every single day and never stop to look or care to what some person that has passion for putting those papers on that bulletin, for putting those notices on those bulletin boards, an opportunity to be known, to be heard, to be understood, not even understood, to be heard, to be just completely, who knows what you'll run into. That's the whole point. You live your life. You're able to go outside and see what this world has to offer. But we can't do that if we're not, 1, eating healthy, if we're not 2, getting outside, and if we're not 3, being real with ourselves. We just can't do it. It's not working. It's not working. It's making this generation, my generation, go to complete craziness. We have multiple cases of people not even passing 30 and dying before then due to drugs, due to women cheating, so many different things, just everything in general. And I don't want to generalize a whole generation, because no, I'm not going to do that. Not generalizing no generations at all, because everybody is different. Okay. Everybody is different. And there is everybody for everyone. So there is a person for everyone, is what I'm saying. But we can't do this anymore. We can't do this. And we just have to have, it's not, I'm not even giving advice. I'm just telling you what I feel what my opinion is. I feel like I've seen so much stress within clients, people that I've met, that currently have children from the age of 20 to 35, 30, 40. And they're still, they struggle. There's a struggle, but it's all mental. It's all mental, because you do not need to struggle. You do not need to struggle. You are struggling mentally. You are struggling mentally because you are telling yourself, and you're putting a burden on yourself for no reason. Because if you look back from how far you've came, from where you've come from, you have been a far trip, and you have done great, and you have done excellent. You are alive. You are listening to this video right now. You are hearing what I'm saying. You are looking at my face, and I am telling you right now that you are doing a hell of a job on your life. Just modify it. Just look for better alternatives. Look for better alternatives to be healthy. Understand that diseases do exist, and they can be created, and they can be thought of to be created, which is crazy, but it's true. We need to put ourselves in better positions for longevity. We need to put ourselves in better places to where we can be healthy enough to think to have time to think, to understand when we can think and where we can think and how we can think and how we can be creative, we can create all these new ideas, to be able to understand that gym sharks do not matter at the gym, that showing your extra tight gym sharks leggings are not appealing, because the average is it's turning into a crisis where we're thinking about how our looks and how our whole status is based upon what people see, when really it's going to be completely not connected. You're not going to be connected. You're not going to be connected. You just have to be connected. And what I mean by that is that we need to understand that we need to better ourselves to better ourselves. We don't need to better ourselves for others. We need to better ourselves, to be able to better others, to be able to help others, to be able to be there for others if that's something you want to do. But we can't do that if we don't better ourselves. Now, understand that we're not failures. Nobody is a failure. Nobody is a failure, because if you were a failure, multiple successful people fail on a daily basis. And they're not failures, they're still successful, because they have what? Money? Because what? What is success? What is success? Successful people do fail on a daily. Money is not the solution to wanting to be successful, to wanting to enjoy these three things, to wanting to be better. You can live, you can look for your alternatives to being a healthier individual, which will create healthier thoughts that will then later, of course, create a healthier outcome. And we need to understand that all of these things, fellas, guys, I'm telling you, guys, to the guys out there, guys, if you're in the gym, stay focused, okay? We need to not be focused on women. We have to a degree. I'm not, I'm saying that shouldn't be our intentions, right? Our intentions shouldn't be how we look to other people. We shouldn't want to be big because that girl over there or the guy over there is bigger than I want to be bigger than, or the girl over there might look at my muscle and she might say, nah. It's the intention, okay? The intention, guys. The intention of wanting to be better. The intention of wanting to go outside and understand and live your life and see how beautiful the flowers are, how beautiful the garden is. Let's take a walk with the wife. Let's take a walk with the friend. Let's take a walk alone. Okay? Guys, solitude is completely okay. Whatever America got you sold on, if that's having to have a relationship by a certain age, having to have kids by a certain age, and build a happy life from that standpoint, I think you're completely sold on the American dream. You're completely sold, because we need to better ourselves. We need to understand that we live within nature, that we are humans, that we are the most adaptive creature in this world, that we are able to live in with any environment that they place us in. We can. We've done it before. I mean, look at how far we've come. Now we're living in buildings. You know what I mean? Guys, this ideology is detrimental to our mental health as well. And I'm going to say it because I'm 27 years old. And I've seen how many people stress from right now, wanting to have kids right now, wanting to have children right now. I'm not saying don't have children. I'm not saying children are bad. I'm not saying having a woman is bad. I'm saying that if we better ourselves before we do all that, before we even seek out for that, because there's a point and degree that it comes to seeking instead of just living your life and letting that person flow into your life. That's a difference. There's not an intention of you going out and searching for the love of your life. Then not searching for the love of your life and completely understanding that if that person does come along, then why not? But intentionally, unintentionally seeking, creating, procreating, and then living from a point that where you're so stressed you don't know how to survive, you think that your world is over, then those stressors by the age of 35 can cause God knows what by the age of 60. If you even make it there. But it all has to do with a mental, your mindset. Your mindset, that's where you have to go outside. That's where you have to see the beautiful opportunities that this world has. That's why you have to understand that living in fear is not living in fear. God said he'll send love where there's fear. So where there's fear, you mean there's God's loving there? He's in between both of all of that? Okay, I'll dive in. Why not? You can say, you know what? I got you, man. And I've seen it. I've experienced it to where I'm moving without fear because I know God's got me. And I know that I've put in the work in eating healthier, eliminating these bad habits that I used to have, maintaining my longevity, and being able to be a loving human being to others is exactly the route I want to stay on. And I definitely invite you to try it. And if you don't know how, let me know. We can have a conversation. We'll talk. And comment below. I love you guys. I know it was all over the place, but I hope everything tied in. I hope that you guys have an amazing week. I hope that you guys understand that you are where you are because you've created that. You've made it there. You've built that. You're sitting at where you're sitting because of you. I want you to remember that because it's very important that we do so. Because at the end of the day, you're only in competition with yourself. I love you guys. Peace out.